What is up, guitar friends? Welcome back to a new episode. And today we're getting a little sad, we're getting dreary, we're gonna learn about minor chords. Let's do it. Alright, so we're going to do some minor chords today. We're going to do our basic open chord structures of E minor, A minor, and D minor. So these are the most common ones you'll find without having to use any bars or capos or anything like that. Alright, so first question you're asking is, what is a minor chord? So it is a less significant version of a major chord, right? No, bad joke. A minor chord is basically when you take your major chord or you're in that key and lower the third note by a half a step. And you'll notice just by listening that your minor chord just sounds darker, a little more gloomy and bittersweet than say like your major chord, which sounds happier or brighter. How we do that is by lowering that a half step, the third note a half step, and how we do that on the guitar is by one fret. So half step on the guitar is just going from one fret down one lower. So say second fret to the first fret, or in the case of like an E major chord, which I'll show you, it goes from the first fret to an open, and that makes it a minor. So sounds hard now. Let me show you the guitar and it'll probably be easier. For example, we have our E major chord here. So that's open, second fret, first fret, and then two open strings behind it, right? That's E major. So if you can hear that kind of ringing out, you know, it sounds happy. That's a major chord, that's E major. Now, all we have to do to make that minor is just take your index finger off. So you go from the first fret to another open string. So that's a half step down or one fret. You just lose that and all of a sudden it's sad. And that's exactly how you just go from major to a minor. I'll show you how to do that for A minor and D minor as well. Now, minor chords are my favorite. I just love how bittersweet they sound, how dark they sound, and they're also essential even for your major keys, just because when you are doing a chord progression, there are going to be some minor chords in there, even if it is a happier sounding song. That's just kind of the way things go in your musical progression, your music theory, as we get more into it. But yeah, so these three chords are essential to your building blocks of your knowledge of guitar stuff, and they're going to really help you and expand your song palette. So let's get into it. Let's learn the chords. Let's learn some songs. Let's have some fun. Let's do this. All right, so first chord is going to be E minor. All right, so just like we saw, we're going to do E minor. So like I said, this is your E major. So it's open, second fret, first fret. That's your major, right? Sounds happy? This is our minor. Just take your index finger off. All you're doing is open string on your E, on your A string, you're hitting your second fret, right behind that with your ring finger, second fret, and the rest of the strings open. So we have this. Fairly easy chord, and it sounds super cool. All right, second chord is going to be A minor. All right, next chord is going to be our A minor. So just for reference, this is our A major chord. So we start here on the A string, open, then second fret, next three strings. You can bar that with your index finger, and then your open E string. So it's A major sounds like this. So in order to get that to minor, this note here on our B string, we're going to move down one fret, so a half step. So it goes from to this. So same chord, open A, second fret with our middle and ring fingers. And right behind that is our index finger on the first fret on the B string, and then the open E. So you can hear just by moving that one fret down to all of a sudden it's a sad chord. So it goes to A minor, right? So again, it's just open A, second fret with your middle finger, second fret ring finger on the string next to it, then on the B string, first fret, open E. All right, our third chord is going to be D minor. All right, last and not least is our D minor chord. It looks like this. First, let's go over our D major. So it's open D, first fret index finger, on a G string, B string, third fret, and our high E string, second fret. Happy. And then we want to make it sad, so we just take this note here, and what do? Down one fret or a half step. So we go from this to this. Already sounds mean, right? So now our finger shape is gonna look pretty much the same, except we're gonna use our index finger back here. So instead of like this, we're gonna use like that. So it's open D. Then on the second fret here, we're gonna use our our middle finger, middle finger. Then our ring finger behind it, the third fret, and then our index finger first fret on the high E. Sounds like this. So instead of this, I'm so happy, I'm so sad, and that is your D minor. This is probably the hardest one out of all three, just because the hand position here is a little awkward. If you find your hands pulling back a bit, that's okay. Just try not to palm the guitar. Try to get your hand off and use your thumb in the back. You don't, if you're resting up like this at first, just keep trying to pull your hand back and get your fingers on top of the strings and not sort of resting over that like that. But yeah, D minor. All right, let's learn some songs. All right, first song we're gonna learn is Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish. I know that sounds kind of lame, but it's one of the first songs I ever learned. It's really good to move your hands around. It's gonna use some chords we used last time, C, D, and G. Throws in a little E minor in there just for flavor, and it's just really good to learn when you're a beginner. So let's check that song out. All right, so Let Her Cry, it's a cool song. It's pretty simple. So the E minor in here is just like a touch. It's just gonna spice up our chorus a bit. It's not gonna be a big time chord change here. The song overall, it's not exactly happy, a little bit bittersweet. But yeah, we're gonna get to all of these chords. So Let Her Cry starts out on G, which we learned in a previous lesson. So G looks like this. So G major chord, then D, and then our C major chord. And then back to G. So that's how you play the intro and the verse. If you don't know how to play those chords, go back into my GDC lesson and you can learn all of them there. So our verse goes like this. So that's pretty much the verse, and then when we get to the chorus is when we're going to use this E minor real quick. So it's going to go like this. C major, G major, C major. So to break that down, our chorus is going to start on C, then we're going to G, C again, and then real quick we're going to hit this E minor, G, and D. So there's like a 3-chord little riff, I guess you could say, in there, and then we go back to C to resolve. So the chorus again is C, G, All right, next up is a song Closing Time by Semisonic, another 90s hit. Kind of going for a theme here, I guess. This was cool because we throw in an A minor in this with some other major chords we already know. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. We just get to use that A minor instead of E minor. And yeah, another good song, just really easy to play. You can sing along and it's really easy to learn. All right, Closing Time. A 90s fave. I think it's 90s, right? 99. Anyway, if I'm wrong, you can let me know. But so Closing Time starts off on G, then we're gonna go to D, then we're throwing our A minor in there, and then C. So again, that A minor just kind of adds that little bit of a, downer note, so it sounds a little bittersweet. You know, it's not like the darkest thing, you know, ever, but it just has that extra little push to make it sound sad. So this is pretty easy. The whole song is just these 4 chords, and it just goes like this. So it's G, D, A minor, C. Closing time. So a little bit slower, it's just G, A minor, C, G, D, A minor. Alright, so our last song we're going to do is Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. This song is super bluesy and cool. We're going to get nice and moody at the end here. It's going to use all of the minor chords we've learned today. So we're going to throw in that D minor now, also A minor, E minor, and we're going to throw in a G chord. Only 4 chords. It's easy to learn. Sounds super awesome. It's super dark. So let's get into it. All right, our last track is Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. We got out of the 90s. We got all the way back to the 70s. The song is super cool. Great use of the minor chords here. It's going to be dark, it's going to be bluesy, it's awesome, and we get all 3 of the minor chords we were using today. So the song starts on A minor, and then a real quick turnaround on E minor, and then our G major chord. So it sounds like this. That's how you play the first part. And then after that, we just kind of go on to the E minor chord here. And then D minor. And then back to the original riff. So if we put that all together, we have A minor, E minor, G. We do that twice. And then after the second time, we go to our E minor chord, D minor chord, and then back to the original. And you pretty much play the whole song like that, so all together it sounds like this. Super cool. Bonus time. You know we had to have a bonus song. So this one's one of my favorites. It's by Alice in Chains. The song is called Nutshell. As soon as I heard it, I wanted to play it on guitar. It's so good. It's super dark. So it's a little harder than our other songs. That's why it's a bonus one. There's a little bit of chord variation here with our E minor. But once you get it, it's really good. It's awesome to play on the, you know, just your fretting hand. It just feels great when you get it down. The rhythm's a little different too. So it's a notch above the other ones, but it sounds great. And once you learn it, it's going to be awesome. So let's get into that. All right, our bonus track, Nutshell. It's one of my favorite songs to play, especially when I was learning. Awesome chords, just sounds super cool. This is one of those things you can play and you just sound like a seasoned guitar player, even though you might not be. So this is a little hard, so it's our bonus track. So if you got through the other ones and you feel like you're doing good and you want to level up a little bit, you can learn this one, right? So I'm going to show you the chords, and then what makes this song special is the little variations on them, which give it that extra flavor. So we're going to open on E minor, our regular E minor here. You're going to kind of rock that out for a little bit. As you listen to the song, you'll hear it. Now there's this 3-chord sort of riff. So you're going to go E minor, G, D. So it's going to go like this. Then we're going to end there on our C add 9. So if you watch one of my other videos, you know that's a variation of our regular C chord shape. Instead of playing it the traditional way, we're going to play it with our ring finger is on the 3rd fret on the B string, and we have our original positioning here. We're just changing that one note from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret on the B string, but it does add a nice sound, and we play our open E on the back end of it, so it sounds like this. So now the fun part begins here. As you're playing the C add 9, you want to add the pinky behind your ring finger, 3rd fret on the high E string. And what that does is it gives it a nice higher kind of sound there. Also kind of highlights what's going to be the next chord in the E minor. So it's sort of like foreshadowing that we're going to move to this chord. So it sounds like this. And what we do here is we're leaving our ring finger and pinky where they were from the C. And then we're going to use our index finger and our middle finger to add our E minor chord here. So this is really cool because now we're going from our C shape, we're still holding our 2 high notes, and we're going to transition to the E minor here and play it all the strings. So it has almost even more of a melancholy sound, which just adds to the whole mystique of this guitar progression, which is really, really, really cool. So it goes from the C here, and if you want to get fancy, they do this little hammer-on with your index finger, so it'll go like this. That's pretty much the whole song. They run that riff over and over. There's a couple of cool lead lines in there. It's just such a awesome sounding chord progression. Hope you enjoyed that one. Alice in Chains, yes. All right, guys, really hope you enjoyed that lesson. I particularly love the minor chords. They just really open up your song learning palette. You can learn so many more songs that way, and I always love kind of like the darker sounding things, particularly like Nutshell, our bonus song today. It's just so dark and gloomy, and you can just play it on anything, a cool open acoustic guitar or an electric guitar with a bunch of delay and reverb. It just sounds awesome no matter what. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please give me the thumbs up. If you have any other ideas or things you want to learn, leave them in the comments below. I'll get around to it. As always, please subscribe to the channel. I'll be with you every week trying to learn more guitar stuff, rock and roll history, and just hanging out, having a good time.